Good evening, all. I just wanted to make a quick video tutorial on the I Ching. For those of you who don't know, the I Ching is a book of ancient Chinese teachings that is used for divination purposes. So that would be predicting the future, things like that. So, to start off with, just get a blank sheet of paper. I'm using this 2014 planner. Just a scrap paper. Get a writing utensil. And then get 3 coins. They can be any kind of coins. They have special coins that are I Ching coins, but I think it's fine to use any kind, as long as they have clear heads and tails, and you know which is heads, which is tails. That's important. Hold the coins in your hand. And just try to think of a question that you would like to ask the oracle. Can be anything. Once you have the question in your mind, take your coins, hold them in your hand, and then simply toss them. Record how many tails you have and how many heads you have. I have 2 tails, 1 head. For each tail, count 2. For each head, count 3 and add them up. 2, 2, 3. That's 7. Take your writing utensil. Write out a 7. And do this 6 more times. Oh, excuse me, a total of 6 times, but 5 more times. Repeat, rinse and repeat, for the sake of brevity. I'll just pause for a second and let you just go ahead and do that. If you want to just pause the video, go ahead and throw it 5 more times. Each time you throw, you're adding a number, and you build from bottom to top, going up. That's 5. 1 more. Okay, now you've done your 6 rolls of these are your coins. for each one you added them up, each tail was worth 2, each head was worth 3, and you totaled it up. Now you have what is called a hexagram. It's called a hexagram because it has 6 lines. For each even number, make a broken line. For each odd number, make an even line. I'll go ahead and pause the video and wait for you to do that. Now, start a new hexagram over here. For each 6, make it into a 9. For each 9, make it into a 6. And you're creating the inverse of the hexagram. Does that make sense? Each time I saw a 6, I made a 9. Each time there was a 9, I wrote a 6. Each time there was a 6, I wrote a 9. And the rest of the lines stay the same. This is what's known as the present hexagram. This is the future hexagram. Now, go ahead and grab a copy of the I Ching. I'm going to provide a link in the info section of this video to a free online access to the I Ching, the Wilhelm translation, but I have here the Taoist master Alfred Huang complete I Ching, which I will also provide a link for in the description of this video. Each, most of these copies of the I Ching have in the back, all the way at the back, a chart of the trigrams and hexagrams. And this is just a way of being able to look up the hexagram in question. This is called the upper trigram, the first 3 lines. This is called the lower trigram. So what you do is go ahead and go over here to your chart. Locate the upper trigram. In this case I have lake. You can see that. It's a broken line with 2 solid lines. Excuse me, Diet Coke. So there we go. That's the upper trigram. Then I look at the lower one. There we go. 2 broken lines, 1 solid. That's down here. Okay, so this is sort of like the X and the Y axis when you used to do anything in mathematics. So you just go upper trigram down to the lower one. Let's see where they match. 17. So that's our target. That's the first one. So I usually write out the number at the bottom. Then just go ahead and look up the second one. And that's looks like Li over Li, which is fire over fire, which is 30, one of my favorites. Oh, look, it says 30 right there, huh? What do you know? That's one of my favorites. It's fire over fire. Yes. Which is brightness in this translation. Okay, so now I have my target 2 hexagrams. I know which ones I'm going to do. I'm going to look them up in my copy of the I Ching that I have here. 1730. So now remember your question. Sometimes it's good to write out your question because you can forget it. You forget exactly what the wording of it was. I like to remember exactly what the wording was, personally. So we have 17, which is shui, following. That's the decision. So when you're doing a hexagram, first of all, locate which one you're doing. This one's 17. Lake over thunder. And then there's a few things that you need to read. It's good to read all of it, read the whole chapter. But in case you're feeling like you just don't really want to do that, there's certain things that you really should read that are essential to understanding it. First one is the decision. Always read the decision. You can read the commentary on the decision, but you don't really have to right away anyway. Go down to whatever the changing line was, which was anywhere in the hexagram where there's a 6 or a 9. You read the changing line. In this case, if you'll notice, I have 1 6 here, and I have 1 9 there, and I have 1 6 here. So there's a lot of change going on here. The third line is what I read first, because there's a 6 on the third line. So I go ahead to third 6 right there. And it says, involved with great person, loses little fellow, following one gets what one seeks. You just read this. Favorable to abide in being steadfast and upright. Just kind of think about what that might mean in the context of the question that you asked. And then the next lines that I'm going to read are the top 2, which are the 5th and the 6th. Go ahead and read that. The 5th 9, and the top 6. And just kind of think about what this might mean, to your question. What does all this fit in? All this stuff you're reading. And then go ahead and do that with the other side. Just look this up. Go to 30. Look it up. Read the changing lines. Read the decision, and just kind of ponder what this has to do with the question that you asked. And keep in mind that this is more relevant to where you're at right now in this exact moment. And this is more based on the future. So there's kind of that balance. And then, so that's basically how to use the I Ching. But now I'm going to go into the special technique that's a bonus in this video, which I learned from this book, which I'm going to provide. My camera's not focusing. I learned it in this book, and it's really a good addition. So what you do is after all this is done, if you're still here and you're still doing it, try to think about what your interpretation of this might mean. How would you interpret these lines, and how does this affect, and just kind of imagine what that might be. And let's just say I asked a question like, for example, how do I fix, my relationship with my father or something? Something like that, something really esoteric and vague, and I read these and I think to myself, I think what the I Ching is telling me is that I really need to call my father up and just apologize to him and tell him that I love him, and tell him that I think he's a great dad and he's a great, supporter of mine. And, let's just say that that's the message that you get from reading the I Ching. So you take your coins, and this is a way of just kind of like lie detector second guessing what you think about it. So let me just say, I Ching Oracle, are you saying that I should call my dad and just explain to him, like, how I feel and whatever it is, and then you throw it. And this, according to this book, in this interpretation, which is Carol Anthony, this is an indication that the answer is no. I shouldn't do that. And when you get tails and tails, it means no. But there's still a head over here. So what this is saying is no, but, right? That's what it tells you in here. I swear to God, read it. So, I'm going to ask a question again and just say, well, I Ching, are you trying to tell me that I should have a barbecue with my dad and just, drink a couple beers with him, maybe just not take it so seriously, maybe just have a light conversation with him, just not bother him, but just, have him over and just have a joke with him, just laugh with him. Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, that is what you were trying to say. I got 3 heads. So this means yes, yes, yes. And this is a confirmation that this is correct. So I will write that out. And that is, you did all that work. And that's what you get. Invite my dad over for a beer. So this is overall how I've been using the I Ching, and I hope you like this video. Please subscribe if you liked it, and share it, social media, whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.